Hey everyone, I'm working to hit 1,000 subscribers and I need your help to get there. If you enjoy this content, please hit that subscribe button right now.
Welcome back to Bears Chat Now, the only channel that goes deeper than the headlines, digs past the narrative, and finds the real story hiding inside the numbers that most people are too lazy to look at. And today we have found something genuinely stunning. Something that changes the entire conversation around the 2026 Chicago Bears schedule. Because, yes, everybody is talking about how brutal this slate is. Yes, everybody is screaming about the toughest strength of schedule in the entire NFL. Yes, the talking heads on every major sports network are practically writing Chicago's obituary before a single snap has been played. But here's what those same talking heads are not telling you. The NFL quietly handed the Chicago Bears one of the most favorable scheduling situations in recent memory, and when you actually break down the numbers behind the numbers, this team's path to 12 wins and an NFC North title suddenly looks a whole lot more clear than the doom and gloom crowd wants you to believe. So sit down, lock in, and let's talk about the secret weapons hiding inside the 2026 Chicago Bears schedule, because this is the kind of stuff that separates the fans who truly understand football from the fans who just look at the opponent list and panic. Let's start with the single most important hidden advantage on this schedule, and this one is genuinely jaw-dropping when you see the full picture. Net rest advantage. For those who need a quick education on what this means, net rest advantage is the measurement of how many extra rest days a team accumulates over the course of a season based on scheduling quirks. When you play on Monday night and your next opponent played on Sunday, you get an extra day of rest and recovery compared to them. When you come off a bye week and face a team that played the previous Sunday, you have a significant advantage in preparation time, physical recovery, and game planning. These advantages and disadvantages accumulate over 18 weeks, and at the end of the season, the teams with the highest positive net rest advantage have had a meaningful edge in ways that never show up on a highlight reel, but absolutely show up in the win-loss column. Now, are you ready for the number? The Chicago Bears enter 2026 with a net rest advantage of plus 15 days. That leads the entire National Football League, every team, all 32 of them, and the Bears are sitting at the very top of that list. But it gets even more remarkable. That plus 15 figure is not just the best in the league this year, it is the second highest net rest advantage of any team since 2002. We are talking about a generational scheduling break hiding behind what everyone is calling a brutal schedule. The Bears are going to have more recovery time, more preparation time, and more physical freshness relative to their opponents than virtually any team in the history of the modern NFL era. And before you shrug and say that rest advantages do not really matter, let's look at the data from last season alone. 5 teams had a net rest advantage of plus 7 or more days in 2025. The top 3 teams on that list, Seattle, Los Angeles, and San Francisco, all won 12 or more games. Now, yes, those are naturally talented rosters, but talent alone does not explain how rest advantages consistently show up in the win totals of the teams that benefit from them. The pattern is undeniable across year after year of NFL history. Teams with significant positive rest advantages almost always end up as playoff teams, and now the Chicago Bears, in what everyone is calling their most important season in 2 decades, are sitting on the second best scheduling rest advantage since 2002. But here is where it gets even better, and this is the part that makes this advantage uniquely powerful for this particular football team. Well-coached teams benefit from rest advantages more than any other type of roster. And why is that? Because when you give a smart coaching staff extra time to prepare, they do not waste it watching television. They go back to the film. They find the wrinkle in the opponent's defensive alignment that nobody else has noticed. They install something new. They identify a tendency in the opposing safety's eyes when he rotates to cover a post route. They find the thing that gives their quarterback an advantage before the ball is even snapped. Ben Johnson is one of the most innovative offensive minds in the game. The extra preparation days that this scheduling quirk provides are not going to be spent on a golf course. They are going to be spent building advantages that show up in the fourth quarter of December games when everything is on the line. And then, on top of the preparation benefit, there is the physical benefit. Over the course of 18 weeks of professional football, the human body takes a beating that most people watching from their couch cannot even begin to comprehend. Joints break down, muscles tear, reaction time slows, decision-making under pressure becomes slightly less sharp when the body is running on fumes. When the Chicago Bears are consistently getting extra recovery time compared to their opponents throughout the course of this season, the cumulative effect by the time December rolls around is enormous. This is a team that could walk into the final 4 weeks of the season fresher than almost any opponent they face. And those final 4 weeks, the Packers on Christmas, the Lions at home, the Vikings in Week 18, are the games that determine whether Chicago wins the NFC North or watches someone else celebrate. Now let's get specific about which games benefit most dramatically from this rest advantage, because 4 matchups in particular jump off the page. First, Seattle in Week 8, Monday Night Football in the Pacific Northwest against the reigning Super Bowl champions. This was always going to be one of the hardest games on the schedule, and frankly, it should be, but the Bears are going to walk into that stadium with 3 extra days of preparation compared to what they would have had in a standard week. 3 days. In the NFL, that is an eternity. That is enough time for Ben Johnson to have watched film on Mike McDonald's defense from 4 different angles, installed 2 brand new play concepts specifically designed to attack Seattle's coverage tendencies, and given Caleb Williams enough reps in practice to feel completely comfortable with the game plan. Does the rest advantage make Seattle a lock? Absolutely not. But it makes it winnable in a way that the raw matchup on paper might not suggest. Second big rest advantage game, the Saints at home out of the bye week, coming off your own bye week and facing a team that did not have the same extended rest, is one of the clearest advantages in professional football. The Bears get exactly that situation in Week 11, and they get it at Soldier Field with a home crowd that will be absolutely electric after the break. 8-2 heading into the bye week. If the record prediction holds up, and then coming out of the rest with a Saints team walking into Chicago off a standard week, this is a game the Bears should win convincingly, and the scheduling gods have set it up beautifully. Third, Week 13 against Jacksonville at home. The Bears play in Detroit on Thanksgiving, one of the hardest games on the entire schedule, and then get 2 extra days to recover and prepare before the Jaguars come to Soldier Field. That 2-day buffer after a brutal short week Thanksgiving road trip at a dome team that plays as well at home as anyone in the NFL is not just welcome. It might be the difference between a loss hangover derailing a 2-week stretch and Chicago bouncing back to improve to 9-3 with the playoff picture coming into sharp focus. Fourth, the second Lions game at home in Week 17, plus 3 days of rest advantage for a game that could carry massive NFC North implications. Ben Johnson getting extra time to scheme against Dan Campbell's defense, extra time to make adjustments based on whatever Detroit showed in their Thanksgiving matchup, extra time to put together a game plan that finally gets that particular monkey off his back. 3 extra days for a coach as meticulous and creative as Johnson. That is practically a cheat code. And here's the beautiful part about 3 of those 4 massive rest advantage games. They are all at home. You are getting extra preparation time, and you are not burning energy on travel, and you have Soldier Field rocking behind you. That is not just an advantage. That is a stacking of multiple advantages simultaneously, and it is the kind of scheduling gift that teams play an entire career without ever receiving. Now let's talk about another break that does not get nearly enough attention. 14 teams this season enter their schedule without a single game where their opponent is coming off a bye week. The Chicago Bears are one of those 14 teams, not one game, not one opponent walking in with an extra week of rest, extra preparation, and extra recovery time that the Bears do not also have. 0. Meanwhile, the Philadelphia Eagles and the Los Angeles Chargers each have 4 games this season where they face a team fresh off the bye. 4 games. The difference between 0 and 4 in this category is genuinely enormous when you look at how much the bye week rest advantage historically influences individual game outcomes. The Bears get none of that working against them all season long. The Eagles, who everyone expects to be a juggernaut, are quietly fighting uphill in 4 separate contests before they even account for the quality of their opponents. That is a massive break for Chicago that nobody in the national media is screaming about. Then there is the air miles component. Now look, nobody's pretending that the Chicago Bears have the softest travel schedule in football. Teams on the coast, teams in the far geographic corners of the country, they are always going to log more miles. But the Bears are projected to travel just 10,676 air miles this entire season, which ranks as the 3rd fewest in the NFL. The teams at the top of that air miles leaderboard are looking at 38,000 miles of travel. The physical toll of cross-country flights, the disruption to sleep schedules, the jet lag, the general wear and tear of spending hours in airplane seats instead of in beds and treatment rooms, all of that compounds over 18 weeks. The Bears are going to spend dramatically less time in the air than the majority of their competition, and that matters more in December than it does in September. Layer all of this on top of the fact that the Bears are favored in 12 of their 17 games according to Vegas odds makers, 12 of 17 with the toughest strength of schedule in the NFL. Think about what that tells you. The betting markets, which are famously unsentimental and brutally analytical, have looked at everything. The opponents, the schedule quirks, the rest advantages, the home and road splits, the talent on both rosters, and come to the conclusion that the Chicago Bears are expected to win 12 games this year, the same conclusion this channel has been pounding the table about for weeks. Vegas does not make these lines based on feelings or fan loyalty. They make them based on information, and the information says the Bears are a 12-win football team, and there is one more piece of this puzzle that deserves a moment in the spotlight. The week-to-week flow of the schedule itself is remarkably balanced. For a team with this level of opponent difficulty, there are no 2 or 3 game stretches where the Bears are consecutively facing elite opponents with 0 relief in sight. The brutally tough matchups are spaced out enough that this team can catch their breath, collect themselves, and reset before the next significant test arrives. When you combine that balance with the plus 15 rest advantage, the 0 bye week disadvantage games, the minimal air travel, and the home-heavy schedule down the stretch, the picture that emerges is not the nightmare scenario the national media wants to sell you. The picture that emerges is a Chicago Bears team that has been quietly set up to succeed in ways that go far beyond what the opponent list alone suggests. Is this going to be easy? Absolutely not. Is the strength of schedule still real and still significant? 100% yes. The Eagles, the Seahawks, the Patriots, the Bills, the Lions, these are legitimate football teams with legitimate championship aspirations of their own, and none of them are going to roll over and hand the Bears anything. Every single win on this schedule is going to have to be earned through preparation, execution, and the kind of late-game toughness that Ben Johnson has been installing in this roster since the day he walked through the door at Hollis Hall. But here is the bottom line. Multiple things can be true at the same time. The Bears have a hard schedule, and the NFL gave them an extraordinary collection of scheduling advantages that make that hard schedule significantly more manageable. The Bears face 8 playoff teams from last season, and they are going to face most of those opponents with more rest, more preparation time, and fresher legs than those opponents will have. The strength of schedule numbers looks scary, and Vegas is still installing Chicago as a 12-win team because the smart money knows what the rest advantage numbers actually mean when they are this historically extreme. The 2026 Chicago Bears are not a team walking blindly into a gauntlet. They are a team that has been handed a plus 15 rest advantage, a 0 bye week disadvantage season, the 3rd fewest air miles in the NFL, 4 primetime games at home, 9 home games overall, including the most important stretch run of the season, and a Vegas market that says 12 wins is the expectation. The pieces are all there. The advantages are real, and they are historically significant. Now it comes down to Caleb Williams taking the throne, Ben Johnson maximizing every extra preparation day this schedule hands him, and a Chicago Bears fan base that has been waiting 20 years for a team worth believing in finally getting exactly that. 12 wins, NFC North champions, home playoff game in January. This is not a dream anymore. This is a well-constructed, analytically supported, historically backed prediction for a franchise that has done the hard work of building something real. Now, here's what I need you to do. Head down to the comments section right now and drop your 2026 Bears record prediction, all 17 games. What is your number? Are you riding with 12-5? Do you think the schedule breaks? Send them even higher? Or are you worried enough about the opponent quality that you are landing somewhere in the 9 or 10 win range? I want to know every single prediction, and I want to see the reasoning behind it. Let's build this conversation together, because that is what Bears Chat Now is all about. While you are down there, smash that like button, because every like on this video pushes Bears content in front of more football fans across the country, and this team deserves that exposure going into what could be the most important season in a generation. Subscribe to Bears Chat Now and turn on that notification bell. Hit all, because the record prediction video is dropping soon, and you do not want to be the last one to see it. Every signing, every cut, every training camp update, every roster move between now and September, we have got you covered right here. Bear down, Bears Nation. The secret weapon is out of the bag. Now let's go win with it.
Hey everyone, I'm working to hit 1,000 subscribers, and I need your help to get there. If you enjoy this content, please hit that subscribe button right now.